and I'm kind of disappointed I didn't, because I would have loved to have been like right next to you in that moment, dude. That was epic moment. I'm just gonna say, like, I was a proud friend, dude. I was up there just like, that is so incredible right there. I love that. You look like, I mean, you more than anybody, you look like you're part of the show, and that was impressive. I mean,
I said this afterwards, like, this is super cocky and incredibly self-centered. Like, I won Manifest.
You really did.
I won Manifest.
You really did.
Eating W's, baby. Eating W's.
Yeah. I'm sorry that I missed it live.
Well, listen, you took your shirt off, and I thought that was enough. Like, that was actually good. You took your shirt off, you were flexing. I thought that was enough. And then moments later, you came back with clothing on, maybe some jewelry, and a mic, and just absolutely rocked it. You were literally singing the song with them in a mic. And the dude, Flo Rida, was just standing there looking at you. Like, it was almost awkward. He was just looking at you, but he was amazed. But it was almost like, this is my show, but this guy is crushing right now. And I'm just going to stand here and watch this. Like, it was incredible, dude.
We need to change the walk-up song for at least today.
I think we might need to do that. The only thing that would have made it even better is if he had poured some liquor in your mouth like he did to all the other guys. That would have been the coup de grace of the whole thing.
What was that, Patron? I mean, I saw him like he was just like going
and champagne all over the audience. I will say this: it was nice to be short, because the guy in front of me was 6'6", and I literally just bent down behind him.
He was short.
I got nothing on me. I got nothing. So there are moments in life where being short actually counts. That was one of them.
Yep.
Let's get this show on the road. I can't believe we're here. We're here. Let's go. It's Friday. It's noon. You know what time it is. You know what that means. It's time for Word on the Street, everybody. Welcome back for the second episode of the week. Man, we're going to be like 3 hours on the air this week. And, of course, it makes sense that we have the Manifest crew plus Jeff Dickinson, who is there in spirit with us today. We're going to talk about that. And we got Robert, who's still holding down Vegas. He is still in Vegas. And Meshach with the hat game. Meshach, you look good, my friend. Like, you look good at Manifest. I'm not going to lie. The hat, it's just your thing, dude. It's wonderful. I love it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not just a hat. It's a nice Stetson hat, too. Like, I called it out as soon as he sat down. I'm like,
you did. That's true. That's a good point. Yep, got to take a nice look at that. It's a beautiful hat. It's a wonderful hat. Welcome back, everybody. We got to talk about what happened this week. There's a lot to talk about this week. We started out in Vegas on Sunday for myself. Bane, when did you get there? Monday? Sunday? Saturday? When did you get there?
Sunday night.
Yeah, very good. Coleman, you got there on Monday. Meshach, you got there Monday. Is that right?
Yeah, Monday, midday.
Yeah, Monday. All right. Well, let's talk about the first thing that happened while I was in Vegas, and that is after getting to play some golf with my boy Wasim and Zach Shukart, good friend. Got to go watch the Chiefs play in their third straight Super Bowl. Boy, was that fun. All right, so I went to Brewdog. All right, Brewdog, first of all, I paid way too much money, $320 for pizza and chicken wings. Never doing that again. That was totally done.
Well, okay. Would it have included drinks too if you were drinking?
100%. And so,
okay. So that makes it a little
right. But I'm like, how do I? But see, that was why it was dumb for me. How do I get $300 out of chicken wings? I didn't, stuff them in my pockets, take them home. Whatever. Didn't work. Now I will say this: we got to sit. We got to sit in a bar that had majority Eagles fans. I think is the majority of the country that night. I mean, even Bills fans were wearing Eagles stuff. Our buddy Nate Cross has an Eagles sweatshirt now that he ordered as a result. But I got to say, Eagles fans were cool. We had a good time. And after the game was clearly out of reach, it just became comical. It was actually better than losing close. I will say that. If it was a close game, we had a shot, and we didn't lose. That would have been a worse experience than that because we got to just have fun and make fun of Taylor Swift together because Eagles fans don't like her. So overall, it was a fun night, but it was a very disappointing outcome. I'm not going to lie. It was pretty embarrassing. I was way off on that. I thought we were going to win by 10. I couldn't have been more wrong.
Maybe for you. Yeah, seriously. Maybe for you said 17, didn't you?
I sure did.
I was thinking a 10-point win.
No, you know what? Look, let's face it. I mean, I think you're going to agree with me. The last 2 touchdowns that the Chiefs got, they just gave it to them. They
didn't count. You can't count those.
It would have been
a complete
blowout. Complete blowout.
It was. It felt like so. Let me give you one example, and then Coleman, you're in. When I was in high school, we had the red-white game to start the season off, and it was the varsity team against the JV team, and that's what it felt like. It felt like the JV against the varsity, and the varsity just put the clamps down, and like there was just nothing. There was nothing. I couldn't believe 28 yards at half on a Patrick Mahomes team in the Super Bowl. 28 yards. Like if you just run the ball every time, you should get more yards than that. I mean, that's unbelievable. I couldn't believe. All right, Coleman, go ahead.
Oh, I just had a simple comment. I was like, those last 2 touchdowns felt like pity touchdowns, but your boy needed it to hit the over. I don't remember if you guys remember that. It was 48.5, and I was like, at halftime, I was like, okay, the Eagles might get it on their own. But when they got up to 40, I was like, I'm sweating here a little bit, guys.
Right. Chiefs need some points.
Yeah, like I don't care at this point. Like blow them up, but like we need more points.
I mean, history's going to look back at this game and see 40-22, and if they didn't watch it, are not going to understand just how bad of a beatdown this was. And what's crazy is you really have to give the credit to just 4 guys. I mean, everybody else on the Eagles played their normal game, but those 4 defensive linemen, I have never seen 4 men overwhelm 6 men like that in such a dominant fashion for an entire game. That was unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable.
Thank goodness. All is right with the world again. I'm happy.
Yeah, nobody
Coleman was able to enjoy Vegas after that. After that game, I think everybody was as well. It also changed the narrative because nobody really talked about the game afterwards. I think if the Chiefs had won, you'd have had the haters continuing to hate. You'd have had people like me wearing the Chiefs jersey all week. It kind of just dissipated the whole thing in a sense. And nobody really – I mean, some people came up to me, condolences, that kind of thing. But other than that, nobody really came up to me and made a big deal out of it. So I don't know. Yeah. Kind of changed the game, but at least it's over, and we can now move on to other things. I'm not talking about the Chiefs anymore, but that one hurt. That was just a straight beatdown.
And nobody even wants to win like that, right? I mean, it's just like at that point, it's just like
it felt bad. Like, damn.
It's like, and I don't know. Like clearly something's just kind of off. Right. Yeah. Because so you're not playing the team that you wanted to play and win.
Right. Now I will say this: I don't know how many Super Bowls this has occurred, but we did see a backup quarterback make an appearance in the Super Bowl without an injury to the QB1. and that's for on FS1 on one of the shows that they asked Charles Omenihu when they knew the game was over, and he goes, "Well, it's probably when Pickens came in. Kenny Pickens came in. You never want to see the backup quarterback coming in the game." It might have been before that, but man, that was brutal. Yeah,
wait a second though. The backup quarterback can come in if you're winning by an enormous amount with 7 minutes left. You'll see a backup quarterback come in. Why not?
But I'm saying it hasn't happened that much in the Super Bowl. Most of the games are closer.
Yeah,
where
usually it's not a
primary quarterback has to be in the game. But in this sense, it was so bad that the backup quarterback got action, and that's pretty bad when that happens because the game's over and there's just not a whole lot you can do about it. And the disappointing thing is that I had to settle a bet, and we're going to see this in This Week in Pictures later in the show. But I had to settle a bet with Don Salvucci Favier. And I got to tell you, this was probably the worst settling of a bet that I've ever experienced because it was supposed to be a jersey swap, and I would have gladly worn a Hurts jersey or a Barkley jersey. I would have, that would have been fair. This was not fair, and I've got, Don and I are going to have a conversation later in life. We'll talk about this later on the show. That'll be fun. We'll get to that. But so we had the Super Bowl that went over, and I'll tell you what. The nice thing about it too, being on the West Coast, the game was over at 7:30. Still had some time to enjoy the evening, get a good night's sleep. Gotta love West Coast when it comes to sporting events. I'm not gonna lie. Like West Coast is where it's at.
Okay, the one thing I will say though, and maybe this is just me sporting the Denver Mountain Time zone, but West Coast normal football kickoff is a little bit weird. Like 10 a.m. football kicking off, it's like,
right.
I feel like I haven't been able to do a whole lot during the day. The 11 o'clock time slot is just everything's done by 9:30. It's cool. It's cool.
When I lived in Portland, in like the World Series games, especially East Coast, those games would go till midnight East Coast. Sometimes 1 a.m, midnight Central Time. I remember in Portland, we watched the Cardinals win the World Series, and we were in bed by 10:30. It was awesome. It was so amazing. I'm like, I can handle this. I could live with this for a while, which was pretty good. So
no thanks.
All good. Monday, we kicked off the show. There was some pre-conference. I heard that Kara Smith-Brown's session was completely packed. I'm not surprised. She just launched her new book, The Revenue Engine. That was cool. I got to play some golf with my boy Wasim and Zach Shukar again and Matt Silver. Yes, go ahead.
There was something else.
You got to play golf and you got to play pain-free, didn't you?
Oh, I did. Yeah. So, okay, this is pretty hilarious. Maybe we should just do This Week in Pictures now and talk through the pictures. Maybe that's what we should do. I mean, that might be the way to do it. All right. Well, I got to download it first. So give me a second here. I got to download this bad boy, and then we're good to go. But yeah, so let's just walk through some of the pictures because this is probably the best way that we can possibly do this on the show today. This is just going to be the way it works. Give me a second here. We almost got it. Here we go. There it is, and we're going to share our screen. Let's do it. I can't believe we made the show today. I'm not going to lie. I was a little nervous about this. I thought this one might not go over so well today. All right, here we go.
I'm still dragging. I
know, pretty crazy. Okay. All right, so let's see what we got here. Okay, so let's just go through some of this. All right, share my screen. All right, look on the right-hand side here. This is the shirt that Dawn made me wear. This is not a jersey, everybody. This is a women's sweater. All right, because here's what happened. Dawn said you didn't bring your Eagles jersey. And I said, Dawn, I don't have an Eagles jersey. And she goes, yeah, I bought you one. And I said, no, you bought Kevin Coombs a jersey, not me. And she goes, oh, that's right. Well, I have a sweater. And so she brought the sweater. And this is what I wore. Let's just zoom in here on this here just to get a little more of this here. This is what I wore for the entire day on Tuesday at Manifest. Was I wore this Eagles jersey. Now, this is see-through, by the way, very breezy. It was a breezy sweater. And I got to tell you, I got quite a few people. It was a little chilly, and I got quite a few people that just, had general concern for me as a human being, and I appreciate that. Everybody came and asked me how I was doing and what was going on. I appreciate that. The odd part was when people would talk to me like nothing was different. And then like 3 minutes in, they'd be like, okay, what's going on with this? Or what happened here? And but they didn't want to say anything at first. Like they just thought I was just wearing. I mean, my first day cross-dressing, my first day in public. I've never done that before. So first day doing that. So that was pretty wild. Yeah. All right. So now let's talk about the pain-free golf because this was something else. And I don't know if I have a picture of this. Maybe I do. But let me tell you what happened. There were some pictures on the internet that went a little viral this week with one Robert Bain and I. I don't know that it made This Week in Pictures. Oh man, it didn't make it. All right. Let me pull it. I know. Let me pull this up. I know. Did I not send it to Morgan, or did she choose to
keep that
block
to yourself,
that? I don't know.
Walk everybody through like what actually you and I were talking about before this picture was taken. So like,
oh yeah, I'm giving the whole context here, 100%. The whole thing's going to happen here. So here's what happens. I wake up on Monday morning. By the way, Bain and I room together in Vegas. It's a thing. We just do this. It's really fun. All right. So I wake up on Monday morning, and I'm thinking about going out to play golf. And I was just like working my shoulder like this. I was kind of just doing some morning exercises. And Bain's like, what's up with your shoulder? What's going on? So I start telling him what's happening. And he's like nodding like, yeah. He starts getting out his equipment. All right. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. I did on. He starts getting out some of his equipment for powerlifting and some, his recovery and that kind of stuff. And he goes, all right, here's what I want you to do. And he's got his, all right, here's what I want you to do. I want you to put this on. So he brings out the bow tie, all right, which is this device that goes around. You guys have seen him wear it and pulls the shoulders back kind of thing. I've never been in one of these things before, but yep, he's going to show it right now. Got that baby on. And I was like, okay, all right, that's cool. And then he's like, okay. And then he's like, all right, here's what I'm like, wow, that already feels a little bit better. That's amazing. He goes, all right, here's what we're going to do. And so he gets out his wrap. Yeah, you can almost do the whole thing. Here's the bow tie. He's putting it on right now. And he's got this wrap. And so he's kind of doing the whole thing of wrapping up my arm, cutting off the circulation. I'm like, this is looking dangerous. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Starts cutting off the circulation. And then he gives me these things to spread my fingers to work the wrist muscles and all that kind of stuff. Then he gets out the gun, the Theragun. And he starts ripping up. And I got to tell you this, I've never seen Robert more excited in my life than to use that Theragun on my arm and start knocking out some of the stuff that's in my arm. stiffness in my arm. He was getting pretty excited. So anyway, so we're doing this in the room, and the whole time the dude's wearing a towel. And so I said, okay, listen. I said, okay, we got to get a picture of this. So we go over to the mirror. He takes a picture of it. This is a pretty good picture of what happens when Bane and I end up in Vegas. Something like this.
It looks like he wants to just like laugh out loud.
Totally. So I'm in my pajamas. I'm just out of bed. And he's just throwing stuff on. Well, then he says, all right. He goes. So he takes the wrap off, and the blood starts flowing back to the arm. And I start kind of moving it around. All of a sudden, I'm like, dude, there's literally no pain in my arm. I mean, none. He's like, grab your, I had my clubs in the room. He's like, grab a club, take a swing. 10-foot ceilings. I grab my pitching wedge. I start taking these swings. I'm swinging all the way through with no pain. And I mean, I haven't done that in probably over a year. And so now I'm like swinging. I'm like, this is amazing. This is amazing. He gets his camera and he's like, hey, tell me how you feel right now. So he starts videoing me to tell him how I feel, like a little infomercial now for the guy who makes these things who he knows. So now I'm in my pajamas doing an infomercial with my golf club, talking about how amazing this is. Like swinging with pain-free, never swung that way before. So anyways, I go to the golf course and I'm like, well, I'm just going to take this thing with me, maybe wear it throughout the day occasionally just to see if it would help out. I end up wearing this thing the entire round. I told Wasim, I said, listen, I know I look like a total asshole right now, but I'm wearing this thing the entire round because this is amazing. I played the whole round of golf pain-free. I haven't done that in a year. And I'm now a believer. I just purchased my own and they just came in. So I'll be wearing those around a little bit more often. People don't be surprised when you see me wearing the bow tie around, but
big fan.
That was tremendous. I'm not gonna lie.
Is it just me, or does that look like a still shot from like the Hangover movie?
Oh yeah.
That could totally be
missing tooth again, Trey, and they're just.
I know that and a tattoo again. I think we'd be right back where we were last year. So, I will say this: we also did a day one recap on Tuesday in our bathrobes. I could not get the stupid thing to load. It was like 3.5 minutes. So it never loaded on the internet. But I do have a video of us doing the day one recap reports in our robes.
I had one of those figure 8 things when I broke my collarbone, when you pull back the whole thing. So so I know exactly what you're talking about, and it makes you feel weird. It makes you stand up tall too. When you
stand up tall, but man, it just takes the pressure off of the joint. And I mean, Bane, you could say it's better than I do, but it seems like the nerves tend to fire a little bit more normally without the pain, which was just tremendous. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. So I still have to get mobility back, but that was a pretty special moment there.
Not being afraid of pain allows you to be more mobile.
Yeah, for sure. Because I was literally just throwing the club at the ball and just like letting go. I mean, it was pretty miserable there for a while. So. Not a whole lot of good happened in that regard there. All right, well, let's go back to This Week in Pictures and talk about the rest of the week. We did have, I don't think this made it either in my pictures. I do apologize. But we did have on Monday night, we had the opening reception, which was great. Got to see a lot of people in a big room. But then we had the first ever Big Road Tour happy hour, and that was at the Black Tap Craft House. And I got to tell you, very excited about how that thing went down. That was pretty awesome. We had room for 120. We had 150 people registered, knowing that some people might not show up. We had a bunch of people on the wait list. And crazy, I think everybody showed up who had a ticket. And we had to send people away, which was very disappointing. But what a great problem to have. So for those of you out there watching that didn't get into the Big Road Tour in Vegas, sorry. We're learning. We're figuring stuff out. But we'll have more. We'll be at Matt's to do that. But that was an amazing event. We sold some T-shirts to raise money. Man, it was just wild. The whole night was just absolutely packed. People trying to get in. So that was cool. Pretty special time.
That was first night kickoff,
Yeah, first one kickoff. That was good. So that went really well. Let's go back to This Week in Pictures here. We'll just show a couple more pictures of this. So we got the 6 a.m. crew got up and got a little workout in. Oh, let me go back to this right here.
Support that workout real quick, Trey.
Yeah, talk about it.
So you and I go over to the tower, and I'm waiting on Will Jenkins just because of timing. You and Lombard connected and headed up for us. As I'm waiting for Will, one of Vegas's working girls approaches me. I've been approached by this situation before. It's fine. It's easy to get out of. She does not talk to me. She bends down and starts stroking my tattoo on my calf. Says, "Hey, what's going on?" Like there's a wolf in the middle of my tattoo, and she's like petting the wolf. Oh my! You were about to get away from me. And right then, because he wasn't sure which tower I was at, and I'm like, I need to take this. I'm like, what just happened? At 5:45 in the morning, I was just approached by this.
Hey, in Vegas, time doesn't really matter. That's just kind of the way it goes. But you did make it. You and Will did make it. We got in a good workout together. Lombard not kind of worked out. You and Will worked out. And it was great, too, because I also was experiencing a lot of pain-free with working out, which, again, hasn't happened in a long time. So it's great to be a part of the 6 a.m. crew. But it was packed, dude. And I got to say this. I got a little beef with the Venetian. This is the second time we've experienced this. The Venetian does not open its workout facility until 6 a.m. This is completely wrong. Think about all the people on the East Coast that come to the West Coast and they're 3 hours off on their time too. 6 a.m. is 9 a.m. for them. Like these people are up at 5 in the morning, which is 2 a.m. in Vegas or 3 a.m. in Vegas. They want to go work out and it's closed. The line was long and all we talked about was the fact that it didn't open until 6 a.m. I can't for the life of me think, is there a liability concern? Is it like hiring another employee? Like this seems silly to me that they can't just have this open 24 hours. I can't even, it's crazy.
Yeah, I understand. You'd think that somebody would have thought about that by this point.
Is every gym in Las Vegas like this? Is this normal?
No, they have to know. They've thought about how they set up the walkways through the casino, how much oxygen is actually going in. Like, they've thought of it. There's a reason. We just don't know.
What's the reason? They're not at the tables. They're not working out. If people work out, their mind is better. They won't go gamble. Like what?
Say it again, Ben.
They want you on the tables. That's why those are 24/7. They don't want you necessarily up there working out.
Makes sense.
It's more expense, right? Anything that isn't making money, you got to minimize it.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
But what if they just pushed it to 3 a.m. instead of 6 a.m.? It's 3 hours of labor, and those people that want to go work out at 3 a.m. wouldn't be at the tables anyways.
3 hours of labor is an extra shift. That's a whole extra.
For what they charge you and all the money they make, that seems like a silly reason to have one. Just take one of the persons that's walking around, like sweeping the floor or something. Just get them in there and just hang out for 3 hours. I don't know. It was totally wrong. But anyways, got a good workout in. That was enjoyable. Had a good time with that. Oh, I don't even know if we should let this guy on the show. He just never comes out. Never comes to the event. Good to see you, my man. How are you?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey,
made it
in Vegas, my friend. We're doing a little Vegas recap on the show here today. So,
it looked like fun.
Yeah, it was a good time. We definitely had a good time. There were a lot of people there. I mean, I think it was around 6,000 or something. I don't know what the final number was. We'll have to find out from Dan, but overall, it was pretty good. Got to see it. So this is cool. You can't quite see the whole outfit, but our boy Tristan wore a suit with shorts, like suit shorts, like shorts that matched his suit. It was totally dope. I love that outfit. And our good friend
from AC/DC.
Yeah. And Kara Smith Brown wore this really red sweater. I'm telling you, people that think about this stuff and really stand out, I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So I had to take a picture with her, of course. Had a lot of fun with that. And of course, on the bottom there was us playing golf on Monday, which was a blast. We had a great time.
Real quick, sorry to interrupt you because you said standing out, and I was going to bring this up at some point anyway. I'm going to give some free advice for anybody that wants every single person at this to stop at their booth next time. At your booth, well, it's important to stand out regardless. So we had golf simulators, all this fun stuff, but have a Valentine's card making station at your booth, because I cannot tell you how many people are like, oh shit, I flew home on Thursday, I'm too late. Like Valentine's Day is the next day. You'll get everybody over there. Just get a card, like whatever it is, and that's how
that would have been genius. Was anybody doing that? Where'd you get this idea? Was this just on the way home? Like this would have been.
Literally last night when I was like, "Oh, I need to get a card." Shit, to have one unpacked. Like it would have been nice.
That would have been a really, really timely thing to do, and that's a great idea, man. That's fabulous. You sell that idea next time.
Yeah. So stand out. You got to stand out.
I know. Should have done that. Yeah, it was cool seeing people that just decided to go just a little on the edge. Do something different and stand out. Always good to see people willing to do that kind of stuff, which was great. So awesome. I got to tell you a story about our round out on the golf course. So it's story time, everybody. So the way that we got on this golf course is that Wasim has a reciprocal golf club membership where he can get on at other private courses as long as you're playing with another member. So he gets us on at Southern Pines. You can kind of see Zach's, if I can zoom in here, you can see Zach's hat there. So he got us on at Southern Pines, which is this really, really nice course in Las Vegas. If you look back here, there are actual pine trees at the course that we played. Oh, not this course. We played Southern Highlands, not Southern Pines. I'm sorry, Southern Highlands. Anyways, this course we played at actually had pine trees flown in. Like none of the pine trees obviously are natural. They probably had over 1,000 pine trees on this golf course. Wow. And there were parts of this golf course when you were on it that you did not feel like you were in Vegas because you couldn't see the mountains. And all you saw were pine trees. Trey, it was amazing. So got to play this course. and we had to have a member to host us to play. So we had this guy play with us. His name was Dale. He was 70 years old, wore sunglasses that he looked like somebody would live in Las Vegas at the tables, had the big sunglasses on. And he's like, all right, what are we playing for today? And, we're like, well, what do you suggest? And he came up with a game. And then he got all of our handicaps and put them into the system. So this guy's like official. He wanted, if you didn't have a handicap, like he wasn't happy with you. Had to have a handicap, put it in the system. And then he starts, we start playing. He's hitting it right down the middle. He's just this old man, right down the middle golf kind of thing. Here's the moment that I knew that we were in trouble. We were like hole number 6. And I was like, so Dale, what, are you retired now? You still working? Like, what do you do? And he goes, I'm mainly retired, but I still do a little bit of work. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. What'd you retire from? He goes, sports book.
Red flag.
Uh-oh.
Okay. We're going to get worked over today. We're totally going to get worked over. And lo and behold, we did. Didn't even play bad. Like I shot 83 first time on a golf course, seeing it. Like not a bad score. We get to the end and we know it's probably not good because he plays just really, really good. Plays better than his handicap. He's 11.5 handicap. He shot like 78 or 79. This is not good. Like we're in trouble. We didn't even ask for strokes, and it's his home course. We've never even been there. Like we totally botched this. So we sit down at the restaurant afterwards. He starts writing everything down, and he starts doing the math, and he starts throwing in extra multipliers that we did not take into consideration. It's like $5 a point, and times 5 people because there were 5 of us playing. He's like going this whole thing. We ended up losing $675 to this dude.
What?
And here's the thing. He writes it down. He says, "Do you want to take a picture of this?" And I'm like, nobody's ever asked me that question before on a golf course. And I want to take a picture of this from my own records. Then he pulls out from his pocket a red book, and he opens the book and he writes down all of our names and how much money we lost to him individually. And I'm like, we're now in his book. We're now in the sports book. We thought we were just playing a fun round of golf. If this dude's book ever gets confiscated from government or whatever, we are in the book. Never had that happen before. Yeah, totally. We totally got hustled.
What did you learn?
It was pretty rough. Ask questions. Ask more questions. That's for sure. So that happened on Monday. That was pretty interesting. All right. So moving on to Tuesday, got to do some podcasting, and we did 2 hours of Word on the Street podcasting. And of course, we had the privilege of being joined by lots of guests, including our very own Mishak Weber, who hopped in on the show with us. There's that Stetson hat, beautiful looking hat. I'm wearing my beautiful Eagles sweater, and then Coleman had his baby jersey on. So that was good. 2 hours of podcasting. I'm going to say it's the longest I've ever gone podcasting at one time, and it was phenomenal. I could have gone longer if we had more guests. It was a lot of fun. It was almost like having just a show of just guests coming on. We had people hopping in from the crowd. We had a couple of guests lined up. We had Revanova on the show. We had a few others, had Highway on the show. So
from Return Bear.
It was great. From what? Yes. Yes.
Amazing.
What was her name? Stephanie, maybe? She was phenomenal. Totally phenomenal. She had this red, it was like a whole red suit that she was wearing. So we're like, get over here. We started talking to her, and she was telling us about her company and all that. I'll be posting that picture and tagging her in it soon. But yeah, just it was cool having a bunch of different guests on the show. Obviously, Bane, you were there as well. Jen was there for a while as well, who couldn't be with us today. So it was a lot of fun getting to podcast and do that. So good time doing that. Mishak, thanks for coming by and being on the show for a little bit. And then the last thing we'll share here is I'll just go ahead and share the screen here. We had on the right side. So here's Flo Rida with some of the ladies up there. I got to say, some of the ladies and some of the guys got up there and acted in ways I've never seen them act before. I had a good time up there on stage.
There were limiting moves going on up there.
There were some moves going on. That's for sure.
I think I saw a couple. I think I might have seen a couple miracles happen actually.
There was a lady in a wheelchair that came up, but then clearly did not need the wheelchair to do the things she was doing. It was I'm not sure what was going on there. I was a little confused. I think we all were a little confused. The best part of the whole thing though was they had the ladies come up first, which I kind of like, okay, got it. Then they had the guys come up, and I totally fumbled. I did not go up. I probably should have been a little more aggressive on that. But our boy Bane did. Let me tell you what. He went up there, took his shirt off, which of course was great. He was flexing for the crowd, for the audience, which was awesome. And I thought that was enough. That was cool. No, that was not. About 2 minutes later, he comes back to the middle of the stage. He's wearing some sort of leather vest, I think, and maybe some jewelry, and he's got a microphone in his hand. And now he's literally running the show. He's in the middle. He's singing the song. He's on key. He's on time. And everybody is just absolutely loving it, man. Like, you absolutely stole his show. That video is out there on social media. You guys definitely need to go find that. Bane, I have to ask you, what was going through your mind here? I mean, obviously, when they said come up on stage, you didn't hesitate. You hopped over the fence. You went right up. But just walk us through that a little bit. What's going
on? Man, it was cool. Like getting on the stage, never something I'm afraid of. I certainly enjoy the spotlight. I like that. And so, one of his crew already had his shirt off. He took it off like 2 minutes into the
early on. Yes.
Yeah. And he points at me and gives the motion to take my shirt off. So I do. I wish someone had a camera on his face when I took my shirt off, because I don't think at first. So then he motions the Flo Rida. All of the video. There are.
Oh wait, we got Jeff's ringtone there. Oh, that was nice, Jeff. Nice
little disco break there.
I know. I like that. That was good. That was a good tune. All right, so I mean, go ahead.
Yeah. So he motions to Flo, and Flo's like dabbing some guy up, and he sees me, and he's like immediately he grabs me, pulls me in front of the crowd. So of course I do the whole spread arms, no, are you not entertained thing. Place goes crazy, and we're all start dancing as he's gets the song going after the big group flex, and I'm standing there with my shirt off. I threw it out in the crowd, and there's actually hilarious.
Yeah.
You did threw the shirt out. Yep.
So Flo takes off his vest and his sunglasses. Those weren't just any. He pulled them right off himself and handed them to me, and then he hands me he's got all of his the Flo Rida logo, all that, and I start running the hook on Going Down for Real in front of whatever, a couple thousand that are in this bowl. And thank you. I always wondered if I was on key and on time, but the place went ballistic. And in my head, all it was keep the crowd, just continue to do it. And every time the hook would come up, he would grab me again and he'd pull me into the center of the stage and let me run it. And it was super cool. And there was one moment where it legit felt like time kind of stopped. I could hear the music and I'm looking out for, again, this is like a split second. I can see probably 100 faces I recognize. And all it is just like, I am here having had a great week already with connections and with the networking, running the panel that I got to, which was an incredible opportunity. And I'm here with a bunch of my logistics friends, and they all have finally got to see me at full volume. I was talking about having a volume knob as far as you get the same person wherever I'm at, but it's just a different volume. And everyone got to see me at full volume. And then coming off there and coming down from that high, which is still kind of, I'm working on that. The amount of just feedback and again, reconnecting with people. My favorite thing though is that I told this later. Someone saw me, and I don't know who this person was. If anybody does know who they are, please connect them with me. And looked to their friend and said, "Is that guy human?"
How are the discussions going with the Flo Rida Productions team on future appearances?
That's something that I'm letting my agent handle, and I'm just excited about the opportunity to
Now, listen, man, you've done some cool stuff in your life. We know that probably more than most human beings.
Yeah.
Where does this rank?
I would put this week up there within the top 2 or 3 weeks of my life.
How about that moment? It's that moment. How about that moment on stage, literally singing Flo Rida songs to your friends at Manifest?
That is
just saying it sounds ridiculous.
That is up there with the birth of my children, my first 1,000-pound squat. Yeah, that's up there.
It's top 5. It's top 5.
Life moments that even when I'm a dusty old man in a wheelchair, and I'm going to tell people about. Yeah, back in 2025, I was on stage in front of a few thousand people at Manifest, singing with Flo Rida.
Yeah, that was impressive. And I mean, I'm just thinking what's next year going to look like? I mean, they're going to have to factor this in. I mean, just Dan Rice out there, you got to factor this in. Whoever you're negotiating with for next year, you have to talk about Bane now so that it's part of the show. You just have to make that happen. So Dan, Pam, whatever you're doing, whoever you're talking to, make sure that happens. It's really important to do that. It's for sure. It's going to be good.
I do want to give a very special thank you to Dan and Pam and the entire Connective staff, because they put on an incredible show. Really, it is top notch. It is second to none. So to even have that opportunity, because they are the ones who put that together, I am incredibly thankful and humbled by that.
I will say this: 6,000 people there. It feels like there's not enough time to do all the things you want to do now at the show, because it was fine when it was 1,500 people and it was 3 days.
Yep.
Now that there's 6,000 people in 3 days, I didn't even get to go to the puppy park. I'm really disappointed about that. That was one of the things I was looking for. Didn't have time for that. Didn't have time for a few other things, throughout the week, meeting with clients, meeting with the prospects, seeing friends. I got to moderate a panel last minute, got to hop in because Charlie Safro came down sick and wasn't able to join, which was really sad not to get to see her, but got to jump in and do a panel for her and moderate that on AI and the workforce, which was pretty interesting. Met some really cool people there. Mark Keever and Andrea. I can't remember her last name right now, kind of a hard last name, but really cool people. So that was pretty fun to do that. And then let's just calculate hours of sleep. How much sleep did we get this week? Coleman, I think you might be towards the bottom of that.
Yeah, I think if I'm doing the math right. Well, now that you're putting me on the spot, one of the days is a lot easier. One of the days is a lot easier.
One of the days is right here. It's easy when you throw a goose egg up there to add that in.
Yeah, I think I was at probably 10 or 11 for all combined nights.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. Yeah, I'm floating around 14.
How much did you lose at the tables?
Yeah. Him, Coleman, not me. I don't. Yeah, Coleman.
So my motto in Vegas is come with what you're ready to lose. And the whole goal, obviously, is to win. The second goal is just to extend it as long as you can, so you're at least having fun. I bring $175 with me every time. This time, Vegas did win it all. But again, that's an amount that I'm like, okay, it's totally fine. But I was talking with some people that I was connected with, and they're like, oh yeah, last night lost 2,100, man, it was rough. And I'm like, oh god. He's like, no, don't worry though. I was up $5,000 the other night, so we're still in the green. Like,
yeah, it's just different amounts.
Levels.
Listen, Coleman, I'm gonna give you a secret, okay? I know we didn't talk about this much beforehand. I should have talked to you about it more. All right. There was one time during your trip to Vegas where you put $100 on the table, and 20 minutes later you walked away with how much?
At 200, I doubled it within 20 minutes.
And who was standing next to you?
That was you. That was you and Jen.
I'm just saying.
Good luck, Charles.
Bane's got the same stories. All right. I mean, just me just standing there, just being a friend, and he cleans house. I'm just saying, if you want to take this seriously next time, then we need to spend more time together. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, we just need you to stay up a little later then. Stay up a little later.
Didn't Bane win like $2,100 or something like that?
Bane has won significant amounts of money in the past. That is true. Bane, I do have this here.
Last time, right? Didn't you?
Okay, Bane, give me a second here. I do have a little something special here to show. So Bane's hooking us up with some stuff here. Just 1 second here. Let me pull this.
Yeah, Jeff.
Oh yeah.
Play this year with, I want to say, like $2,000.
Let's go.
Yep.
What were you playing? Blackjack?
Yeah, I played the video blackjack.
Walked away with $2,000 this time. Oh, wow.
Yeah, you gotta actually be there in person with me when I'm doing the video blackjack. But that's certainly something I've done.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying I've got a decent track record. I'm just throwing that out there, right? So, all right, can you guys hear this? If I play this here, can you guys hear this audio? Here we go. Let's see.
No.
Nope. Unfortunately.
And here goes the shirt in the crowd. I have the full performance, but that's like 3.5 minutes long, so I need to.
Okay, could you guys hear that?
No.
Oh, there's no audio. That stinks. Okay, so that's not cool because I did try to share the audio here. Let me see if I can do it again.
But
that's pretty good.
Best one. The picture is phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
all right,
the picture is great.
Let me see here. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. This is so good.
I missed that. I didn't care so much about the show, but now
turn up my volume. I want to hear this shit.
Meshach, it's really one of the best parts of the event is the show afterwards. That's for sure. So here's the picture right here. Look at this. Okay. So good. There's got to be a video. I know there's a video out there as well of you actually, singing the songs as well.
It looks like Rob Halford from Judas Priest.
It's just so good.
I have a video of the whole performance. I had the whole thing on video.
Look at this. Oh,
I will say too, and Bane, I hope you don't mind me sharing this from an oversharing perspective, but I happened to go to the bathroom a little bit later, and I think it was finally when you made it off stage, and there was a line, and you didn't see me in there. I was because people in there were hyped, a bunch of dudes going to the bathroom, be like, "That was sick! This is the coolest thing ever." And I was like, basically got his shirt off, and I'm like,
and then one guy in the urinal goes, "Who was that jackass who took his shirt off and threw it in the crowd?"
And that was me.
I have the next person in line, and I'm like, "That was me."
Yeah. It was hilarious.
I will say
laughing.
I think this, I mean, I know recency bias is a real thing, but I think that this, if I had to rank all the shows we've had, this is probably number one for me.
Wow. Yeah, at least 2,000 there, at least.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty wild. That was a fun show getting to be up there. But I'm thinking this is probably number one for me. I'd put Ludacris at number two for me because we were so close. Like, it was just like the personal experience of it all, and it was the first one. So I feel like that's number two. I'm putting Nelly at three for me and Neo at four. That's how I'd rank them.
That's a good list.
From a song perspective, I would flip flop Luda and Flo Rida. From an experience perspective, my list is the same.
Yeah, no, for sure on that. But like, Ludacris was special. Ludacris was one until this one. That's what I'm saying. Is it recency bias that has me doing that, or was it the actual show? But the fact that you were on the show is what really puts it over the top for me. That I got to watch you be up on stage with Flo Rida singing his songs. Like, that's insane. That was something very special. And by the way, Kyle, if you're watching, I did know some Flo Rida songs. I just didn't know they were Flo Rida songs. So I knew quite a few of those. I was like, oh, this is his. I'm like, oh, like, I'm the old guy now that does that. I'm like, oh yeah, I know this one. Yeah, I got it.
It's almost good that I didn't go, because I feel like I would have partook in that whole celebration in some way or another.
I don't know why you would say that's a bad thing, Scott. Like,
it's not a bad thing. Like, yeah, that would have been awesome, actually. I'm sorry I missed it. Dang it.
Deuces.
When I saw the video of you up there, I was just like, I could have been there.
Yeah, it was so good. Well, and the people who leave on Wednesday, shame on you. You know this is coming. I don't know why people do this. Like, just come a little bit later if you don't want to leave early and stay till Thursday. It just doesn't make sense to me that people would do that. From a food perspective, I got to say I was very happy to get In-N-Out Burger twice. That's kind of my thing when I go there. I never get that here in St. Louis. Of course, we don't have it. And so that was my my go-to there. I got to go to In-N-Out Burger twice, and that was pretty legit. So enjoyed the
In-N-Out never disappoints.
No, it doesn't disappoint. It really was quite good.
Very good people watching there too.
Yeah, there's some really good people watching as well. On another front, we didn't throw this out there on Tuesday night. We once again had karaoke, which was amazing. We had, in fact, now I don't know if you guys know this or not, but we go karaoke usually, and we have 8, 9, 10 people of us that go. This year, I literally threw out a text message at 5:00 on Tuesday night to about 9, 10 people, and said, hey, we're going to go karaokeing. Let me know if you're in. By the end of the night, we had 41 people in this room karaoke.
What?
It was
they had to bump us up to their largest room that they had.
Yeah. We took the large room, and in my mind, I'm like, oh gosh, I sure hope people show up and we can fill this thing out, because you pay for the room and it's less per person if you do that. Michael Lombardino says you don't want to see. Yeah, I'm with you, man. That's what I did. I wanted Bane to have all the attention. I didn't want to do that. I'm with you on that. But check this out. This is crazy. So we had this is just one of the performances here. This was the lady singing little Carrie Underwood, and you can see this is just the ladies up front singing. I don't know if I went around the room or not, but there's a huge room. We had 41 people in there. Oh yeah, Jennifer Carpenter-Maine was like the lead singer. She's a performance for her, dude. She loves it. So yeah, we had a good time with this. I guess I didn't go all the way around the room, but you can imagine there's 25, 30 more people still in this room. It was amazing. Yeah, Michael Lombard, it was unreal. It was a good time. We had a lot of fun. Michael Lombard had a couple of saucy picks. I'm telling you, he had some good songs. He had some good tunes. Some I hadn't heard in a long time. He had some oldies. So it was fun. We had a good time. It was the Upwell people came in full force. The Upwell brought 12. That really bumped us up. I mean, without them, we're still at 30, but they really bumped us up to the big room. So and Charlie and Meg and the team had a great time having them with us as well. But the karaoke was unreal, and it also just proved what I thought was people really want to do this. So at the Broker Carrier Summit, we're having an official late night karaoke night on Wednesday night from 10 to 12 in a speakeasy where we can have like 200 people in the room doing karaoke. That's going to be, I think, pretty epic. Still looking for a sponsor. If anybody wants to sponsor that, let me know. Reach out to me. Let me know. We'll have you sponsor that event. So that's going to be a good time. But yeah, karaoke was great. And then we also had, there were some private meetups as well. Like we said, we had the Big Road Tour. We had the Ballast Happy Hour. There were several other happy hours. Coleman, did you hit any other happy hours?
There was one for ITS Logistics that we went to that was at the Wax Museum.
Oh, that's right.
Actually surprisingly creepy. But not surprising. Okay, if anyone from ITS was watching, it wasn't creepy. I was just kind of freaked out because they looked super real. But yeah, there was every single person I talked to, like, oh, we're going to this like sponsored happy hour. We're going to this. Like everybody had something going on. the whole time.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And I have to show you some pictures here because we got a few pictures from Jennifer Carpenter Romaine here. Let's see if I can share this on here. She was very kind to send over a few pictures from the event. So let's see what we got here. Okay, let's see if this pulls up here. Oh, no, that's not it. That's the wrong one. Sorry. Wrong one. Got to get that out of there. Picked the wrong thing. Amateur hour here, as you guys know. That's the way it goes.
It's the hangover after Manifest. It's nobody's expecting Kyle to be here.
All right, here we go. Let's see if we can see this here. Let me close this down a little bit. Shrink this over. Okay, here we go. There we go. So let's see what we got here. All right, so here's one right there. You see that? Coleman up on the horse. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
There are a couple others here. Coleman with Mike Tyson.
Tyson was scary.
It does look pretty real. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a real person. They had a magician there. I'll get a couple more. Yeah, she's a real person. She is great, by the way. She was doing some things, and like I would like to think that I was understanding how she did it. And I was like looking at her hands super close, but she was blowing my mind.
Couldn't get it.
It was crazy. I bribed her to tell me how she did some tricks, and she still wouldn't do it. So she's top notch.
Well, she's a professional. That's right. She's a professional. She's not doing that. She ain't going to tell you that. That's for sure. Yeah. So overall, I'd say Manifest was a success, and we didn't even mention, probably the best part of the show is the connections, and they got this really cool thing on the badge where you can just connect with somebody right there, and then you get a notification via email of that connection, and I'm like, that's like genius, because then you don't have to forget. You can go back later. You don't have to go through business cards. I hate going through business cards and that kind of thing. So they do it right, and I got to admit, we're stealing a lot of stuff they do for Burger Care Summit, just from an experience perspective, because I do a lot of things really well. And when I was a teacher, we learned early, you beg, borrow, and steal. Nothing's new under the sun. So trying to figure out what works and try to make it better. So
yeah, they're at the front edge of a lot of the things that people are doing right in the event space.
100%. It was so good. So that's our Super Bowl Manifest recap. We got to take a break here, Jeff, because it's time for us to play a little game today. And this one is Hot Takes GPT, Chat GPT style. Again, this is the Chat GPT version. We got a couple hot takes that Chat GPT has spit out to us. Yes, Coleman.
Can I start off with one hot take that Morgan put in the chat about In-N-Out Burger? Hot take on her end, it's just a burger. No, it's not. Now, if you're comparing it to a whole bunch of like Al Cheval burgers like nice end restaurants and stuff, sure, I get it.
Sure.
But it is the best fast food burger, and I will fight somebody if they say otherwise.
I'm inclined to agree because, listen, when you go to Vegas, you have choices, of course, and the only one that I really wanted was In-N-Out Burger. I mean, I like Whataburger a lot. I think Whataburger has probably the second best burger in the industry.
I haven't had Whataburger, so I guess I can't speak.
Okay. I think it's second best. It's different, though. But what makes In-N-Out Burger is special is the same thing that makes Chick-fil-A special. It's the experience. It's the experience that you get when you go there. Like you could say it's just another burger. The burger doesn't disappoint, all right? It's a great burger.
It's also consistent.
The fries are decent. The shakes are great, and you get the same. You get the same experience every time. That's right. It's something special.
We finally got our third one here in the Boise area, and it's consistent.
Yep. Why you got to rub it in, dude? Why you got to rub it in? We finally got our third one. Why don't you send one of those to St. Louis? All right. Why don't you tell somebody to open a shop in St. Louis, in Wildwood, Missouri? That's where we need to do it. Maybe I might become an operator here soon enough just to make that happen.
There you go.
The crazy thing about food is that if you think something's going to taste better, it physically tastes better. It's not just your brain thinks it tastes better. It physically tastes better because your brain primes your taste buds, and then it actually tastes better.
Now I need to know, Mishak, you don't strike me as a big fast food guy, but I'm going to ask, is it the best fast food burger?
I still.
Okay, we can move on to the other one. He's going to say no. We can move on to
Johnny Rockets. I still like Johnny Rockets more.
I haven't Johnny Rockets since Johnny Rockets used to be at Six Flags and the theme park. I haven't seen one outside of that ever.
I wouldn't.
And they don't have that anymore.
I don't know. I like guys.
If they don't have a drive-through, can you classify as a fast food?
So that's what I'm wondering.
Even better.
So I would say that Johnny Rockets to me is more along the pars of like a Five Guys burger.
So it doesn't count then as fast food.
In my opinion, right? Because I would, if we're talking regular burgers, I would probably put Five Guys above In-N-Out. just because like customization, like all the stuff that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe
But a
that's
standard
just
burger.
Yeah, that's
fast
just like
food
me
burger.
finding a way to
Yeah,
stay
I
in and out
agree.
to the top.
If we're talking burgers, I'm a big fan of. Oh gosh, I can't think of the restaurant now. What's the one with the onion tower? Oh, who is it? Red Robin. Red Robin has
Red
really
Robin
good
has a
burgers.
good.
Oh,
Like I'm a big fan of Red Robin burgers. Like those to me are some of my favorite ones because there's so many. The options are just so good. The Royal Red Robin with the egg on top. Oh,
Egg.
man.
Oh, yeah.
That's so good. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. But fast food perspective, I definitely think In-N-Out takes the cake in that regard. And I'd put Whataburger at number 2.
Burgers, though. There is like
I'm
a bit of a foodie, but I love just some basic foods, just like burgers.
It's such an American thing. It's just an American thing. Yeah.
Yeah. If you really quick, I know we got hot takes too, but I just took us off on a complete tangent. But if you ever want one of the best burgers you'll ever have in your life because of the fried egg, that's a huge Chicago thing, and it turned me on to the fried egg on our burgers. Go to Al Cheval. Oh my gosh.
Oh, we got a puppy sighting, everybody. We got it. We got
it. Newest Armstrong puppy.
You guys have office puppies? I love it.
Yeah.
Does the puppy just get does the puppy get free reign? Does it just get to go anywhere?
Sometimes she'll learn.
Oh man!
So, but yes,
still learning.
It's definitely a motivator in the office.
Got to keep the barking to a minimum, because
for sure.
Phone calls. Got to keep the barking to a minimum. Okay, so Coleman, sorry you were interrupted.
No, go to Au Cheval. AUCHEVAL when you're in Chicago next time. It'll change your life in terms of burgers, especially with a fried egg on there.
Lombard says Pete Terry's puts Internet out of shame. I've never had Pete Terry's, dude. I gotta have Pete Terry's.
I've never heard of it.
Austin. But maybe the winning factor is that In-N-Out does have a great fleet of trucks. I mean, that for us just has to put it over the top just a little bit in that regard. Yeah, Whataburger is probably number 2 in my opinion. That's the Texas one, Coleman, for you down there. But they do have them in Kansas City now. Because Patrick Mahomes is from Texas, and he brought it up to Kansas City, which is great. So so that's probably how I would list that. But I got In-N-Out Burger twice. That was great. We even got to sit at a table twice, which is rare because those are hard to find out there. Yeah, indoors, not outdoors. So pretty okay. All right, let's go with hot takes. These are chat GPT hot takes. Here we go. We got 8 minutes left. Let's put the first one out there. We're like here, a family here means you'll be overworked and underpaid. I think that's actually probably true.
Unfortunately, I think more often than not,
we're like a family, except I can fire you whenever I'm, you're like,
right.
I think, the whole idea of we're a family here sounds good, but I think we're a team is significantly better messaging in that regard because, like you're not a family. Like that's actually changing the dynamic of a family. You would even when families have businesses together, they have to act differently at the business than they do at home. Like it's different. This idea of family, I think, is I tend to agree with this one. I think this is actually right. I think that's a way for people to maybe manipulate a little bit. Would you rather work? Would you rather for a company that's like a family, or would you rather work for a company that's like a championship team? I don't know.
You say it like that.
A championship team to me sounds like we're actually working towards something together, but we're not family because you're not. You're not family. That's different. It's a whole different dynamic. I'm with you on that. I tend to agree. All right. I think we're all kind of in agreement on that, so we'll see. Michael Lombard, we treat you like family is the ultimate gaslighting. except we fire you when we don't want you anymore. Yeah. Because you can't get Uncle Ed out at Thanksgiving. He's going to be there. Like, he's going to be there. You can't change that. Cereal is just cold soup. Listen, we've had this one before.
Yeah.
And, I think I got taken to the bank on this one. It's definitely not cold soup. It's not.
Isn't it just more like a chunky shake?
Oh, a chunky runny shake. A chunky runny shake.
Depends on how much milk you put
in. Ice cream, right? So that's I'm going old school on this one.
Let's just ask this: is there any such thing as cold soup? I mean, cold soup isn't even a thing. We're just making up a new category for this. There's no cold soup, and nobody likes soup cold.
Borscht can be cold.
I mean, I guess it's not a soup, but my grandma had an ice noodle, which was delicious, and it was cold over noodles.
Really?
I guess it wouldn't be a soup. Yeah.
So cold soup is a thing I don't even know about?
Yeah, like
I wouldn't call it a soup though. I just call it ice noodle. It's a Japanese dish.
Yeah.
So Mishak, tell me about this cold soup. Tell me about this. What is it like?
Borscht is one. It's basically just borscht but cold.
You're using words I don't know.
Borscht is a beet soup from like Eastern Europe, Russia.
Okay. Okay.
There's I think in Asia there's like fruit soups and stuff like that. But vicious soie, I think that's what it's called. Vicious soie.
Okay, so Mishek, you're the expert here. You're the resident expert on this. What do you say about cereal
vicious
being
soie,
cold
looking
soup?
it up right now. Pureed leeks, onions, tomatoes, cream, chicken stock.
Cold.
And of course
Gazpacho, cold soup. Eric never had it. I'm just not nearly as civilized.
Yeah,
as
I don't like any of them, just so you know. So I've named them because they're the enemy.
Okay.
Because soup should.
Do you like cereal?
Yeah, of
Yes.
course.
So you like cereal, you don't like cold soups. So maybe cereal is not cold soup. It's just its own category.
I don't think so because there are times when if I want something sweet late at night, I'll have a cereal, not a cold soup.
Count
That's right.
Dracula?
Yeah, what kind
Count Chocula. Dude, Jeff, shut up, man. I got to wait another 10 months for that or 9
I'm
months. whatever it
standing
is.
by the chunky milkshake, like that.
Chunky milkshake is more cold soup than anything else. Yeah, cereal is a chunky, thin milkshake is kind of what that is. All right, next one. Moving on. Wearing socks in bed is a crime. 100%.
100%.
100%.
You ever
We're
take
there.
a nap when you have your socks on? You wake up and you're like, God, this. You just
take
feel
them off.
awful.
It doesn't feel right. Scott, you wear socks to bed?
It's because my wife requests it. Because I have
Your
the
wife
Army's
requests and
blessed me
you-
with some pretty bad feet.
And
should probably
is it because the texture or because they're cold?
Dry.
Oh, try
They're
washing
dry.
them, man.
The texture.
Well, what does your feet in bed have to do with hurting night? You guys touching feet while you sleep?
We're married. See, when two people were married, we.
Yeah, but my feet couldn't be further away from my wife's. But that's because my wife does wear socks to bed and 4 blankets, and so I'm like getting out, like the feet are just going out on the other side.
I'm impartial, I guess. I'd say impartial. If there's a night she wants me to wear socks, then I'll wear socks.
Okay, if your wife's not like where your wife's out with the girls in Vegas having fun and you're home alone, you wearing socks to bed?
No, definitely not.
There you go. That's the right. So that's the right answer. That's right. It is a crime, but you do it for your wife. That makes sense. But it's bad.
I guess I'll do the crime for the time.
Yeah, it's worth the time. That's right. Well done. 100% wearing socks in bed is an absolute crime. Don't do it, people. It's not good. All right, next one. What's the next one here? What do we got? The best way to play golf is to bring someone who's slightly worse than you. Remember that next time you get invited to play a round of golf.
I would know what that's like.
No.
I don't have the ability.
It makes sense.
So I think it depends on the situation, but I usually want to play with people better than me just because I want to learn something to get better.
Yeah.
I want to be challenged.
Yeah.
I always hate being the best golfer in the group. One, I feel like it's not as much fun from a competitive standpoint. I also feel like I'm going to let people down if I don't play well, because like they're like expecting me to play well as the better player in the group, especially if it's a tournament and I'm the best player in the group. Not a fan of that. I like being like the second or third best player because then I can be competitive and I can learn something from somebody.
I don't pick me. I suck. That's it.
All right, Jeff. So we can go play sometime, maybe.
That's right. Yeah.
I'd be down to hang out with you.
Coleman, you don't
beers.
suck,
Let's
dude.
go.
Listen, man, you hit good shots. You just got to be more consistent, but you hit great shots. Like there's a difference between somebody that can't play and somebody who doesn't play as often as they'd like. You hit really good shots.
Sounds like the definition of sucking. It's like, oh, you hit a good shot every now and then.
Oh no. There are
Every
people
now and
that, for me, people who suck at golf like literally shouldn't play one hole of golf. Like shouldn't play. Like that's just not
like somebody we might know that usually
like we may know somebody in this group that shouldn't play golf ever again. I'm just going to throw that out there. Eric says nobody good at golf wants to play with worse people. That's 100% true. That's absolutely right. I want to play with the PGA Tour Pro every time I play, and I don't care if I get destroyed. In fact, I got to play TPC Sawgrass where Eric lives down there with a Korn Ferry Tour Pro, PGA Tour Pro. And there was one stretch of holes where I played the best golf of the day. I was 1 over for 6 holes. I lost 6 shots to the guy. He shot 5 under on that 6-hole stretch, and I would do that in a heartbeat again. I would do it again because I got to watch this guy do some amazing stuff that I only dream about doing, and I learned stuff throughout the day. So Eric, I'm 100% with you on that. Like you don't want to play with people that are worse than you. All right, next one. So last one, we got more. All right, using a turn signal should be a personality test. Either you care about others or you thrive in chaos.
Agree.
100. This is the exact same scenario as putting your cart away at the grocery store. 100%.
Well, the distance between you and the car behind you.
I will say that there are nuances here because the car at the grocery store is a non-negotiable. You should do that every time. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that's not negotiable.
But
I'm not using turn signals if I'm on the highway and nobody's there.
Exactly.
I'm not doing it.
Nope.
Really?
I still do.
There's nobody there.
I just do it just out of habit usually. I don't even think about it.
I tend to be I tend to be a little bit more conscientious of it because I care about people. If nobody's out there, what's the point?
What if
There's no
somebody's
point.
okay? Have you ever? So you're telling me you've never been on the freeway when it's dark, and then some assholes drive? Not maybe they're not an asshole. Maybe there's an emergency. Maybe they're driving like 175 miles an hour, but their lights are off for whatever reason. You don't see them. They're coming out of nowhere. That signal could change.
I will say
the game.
this. At nighttime, I almost always signal without regard because of the darkness. But I'm saying, like, if I'm driving down 70 at 2 p.m. and there's nobody around me, I'm not using the turn signal then.
Nope.
For a chance.
Yeah, I
I'll
do.
do it.
Maybe I'm the weird one here. I always do.
I got pulled over for that.
No, maybe.
I got pulled over for that. He was in front of me. I went over. He slowed down, pulled me over. He's like, "Why didn't you use your signal?" I was like, "Because there's no
one behind me." That's right.
He's like, wasn't that the point of the signal is to let
people know
you're coming over?
what you're doing.
And he didn't say nothing. I mean, he gave me a warning.
Don't ever go to India.
He's probably like,
man.
in his mind, he's like,
Signals.
"Damn."
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh
yeah.
In
Colombia,
other parts
same
of the
way,
country,
dude. Colombia,
or the world,
no
yeah,
chance.
You know what?
I mean,
that's like a question like this: do you come to a rolling stop at a stop sign?
Hollywood stop, as we call it.
If no one's there,
Yeah.
100%.
You stop and go at the stop sign if there's nobody around.
If no one's there, 100%, I'm rolling through. I'm like, I'm going slow enough that I can stop if I see something, but I'm looking both ways and I'm just, going on.
Touche, Jeff.
Not a
You're right,
dangerous one.
because I don't.
I do that. I do that.
You got
to the
me.
future
You got me.
insurance generative AI that are scanning this for my insurance policies. I never do that. I always stop.
That's right. Well played. Well played. Hey, with that, we're over time. We're going to get out of here, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. No This Week in Pictures today because we went through them already together with going through the show. So it was great. Good to see you, Scott and Jeff. I was really sad that you guys weren't with us in Manifest. Hopefully next year we'll get you guys out of there. And until next Friday, everybody, have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you on the flip flop. Peace out.